All right. Worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more again. All right. Um, yeah, another beautiful day. No surprise, right? Uh, plenty of opportunities to spread peace, love, respect, indeed. All right. So I'm going to try to make this a fairly quick video. Those famous words. We'll see how that works out this time. But this is going to be about astral work, right? Okay. So I think a logical place for us to start is to talk just briefly, at least, about what we mean when we say astral, right? So we are talking about a state of existence, a state of being. Uh, my nice neighbors there bid me a little peace, love, respect all the time. All right. So yeah, we're talking about a state of being or a state of existence, uh, a vibrational frequency resonance or resonant state uh, that is non-corporeal, non-physical, right? That is pure conscious, in fact, pure awareness, where beings exist in a state of consciousness. You maintain your conscious the same way. And folks, when we say your consciousness or your awareness, um, we all have had silently thought to ourselves. Okay, so that voice in your head, you don't have little speakers in your head, right? That voice in your head is your consciousness or your awareness, right? So we're talking about a state of being that is only that. Imagine if you had your consciousness, your very same awareness, your personality, in fact, would remain intact, except that you're not using a persona, so to speak. So, uh, the personality might fade. That's interesting. That might be another video. Okay. um, But yeah, we're talking about a state of being that is non-physical, right? Completely non-corporeal. So to do astral work would be to do work in that state or in that plane of existence, right? So we're obviously talking about non-physical work. We're talking about energetic or spiritual work, right? So the same way you can work physically, you can work mentally, and the same way you can work mentally, you can work spiritually or energetically, right? Work is just having a goal and exerting effort and intention toward that end, right? So you can do the same thing with your energy, right? With your spirit. Um, And certainly we all, I would imagine, should be grateful for the fact that we have a lot of folks doing some very powerful spiritual work now, some astral work, energetic work. Um, Folks that I like to align myself with as light workers, right? Um, and and that is a very important part of what is taking place right now in this paradigm shift. Um, be aware of that, folks, right? That the astral work that is being done by some very strong, spiritually mature uh, beings that are whose hearts are big enough to work on our behalf, right? Um, that's what it is to be a light worker doing astral work or spiritual work. Um, so yeah, um, this can take a lot of different forms, right? You have folks who are used to doing um, very esoteric practices like reading tarot cards and numerology. Some people will say that's more of a mundane science, but or maybe a not so mundane science. But at any rate, you get my point. This can take shape in a lot of different ways for a lot of different folks, right? A lot of different ways to do spiritual work, to do astral or energetic work. Um, and of course, you know, everybody has their own agenda and their own intent, their own world that they'd like to manifest and bring about. I think that beautifully, um, quite a bit of us, and the number seems to be growing exponentially by the day, right? Quite a bit of us have the wonderful inclination to be working toward a better new paradigm, right? A higher vibrational frequency paradigm of peace, love, respect, right? Not that everything is based on what I have coined, right? But yeah, um, a lot of folks are really putting in a lot of work to ensure that this time around our beautiful planet is able to elevate to a higher vibrational frequency resonance, and that we can all maintain that and live in fact a new paradigm that in which that is maintained, right? A new paradigm of a much higher vibrational frequency resonance, where that would allow for, right, and encompass qualities and concepts such as peace, love, respect. Um, and if I can at all aid in that effort, I do a lot of spiritual work, folks, just so you know. Uh, Myself, and that different forms of spiritual work that looks a few different ways. Um, quite honestly, even when you just walk in a room with positive energy, you're doing energetic or spiritual work. You may be present physically, but the work that you're actually doing doesn't have anything to do with your physical body. It's your energy, your uh, your spiritual intention that is positive and infectious and infecting the room. Uh, so, that's a form. Uh, Praying, which is very common to a lot of folks, right, is spiritual work, right? It's non-physical, spiritual, energetic work. Meditating, particularly with great intent on a certain subject or goal, is spiritual work, right? Um, and then it can, like I said, look a myriad of ways. Um, can just get deeper and deeper in terms of out of body work. You've heard of astral planing, or um, one actually leaving, or their conscious leaving their physical body, uh, which I've experienced, and many other folks have experienced in different ways that can look different as well. So um, it's hard to really put it in astral work into a box and say it's only this or only that. Um, But one thing that it certainly, the characteristics that it certainly always exemplifies, or rather the characteristics that are always present, is that it's non-physical, it's energetic in nature, it's spiritual. It is work nonetheless, right? Has a goal or a purpose, an intent, and there is effort and intention being exerted toward that end, right? It's work. So any non-physical, non-corporeal work that you are doing is astral work, right? Particularly, again, if we're talking about folks who are astral projection is another word that I was actually searching for mentally. Folks that use astral projection, projecting, again, your consciousness or your awareness outside of your corporeal existence. And that can be for a myriad of reasons. Again, you can do that simply because you want to experience different things in terms of traveling, right? The galaxy or the cosmos, so to speak. You may simply have some emotional issues that you are working out in that exercise. There's a lot of different things that you could be doing, or reasons why you could be astral projecting, right? But whatever work that you're doing, it would certainly be astral work. Most common, this occurs at night, folks, right? In fact, there are those who say that every single time you dream, you are experiencing astral projection, right? Every single time. And what you are experiencing is not just what is termed as imagination, but you are actually experiencing alternate realities in different dimensional states, right? And if you think about it, that actually makes more sense than what we commonly accept, that term imagination. I mean, what is that, right? It's a term that they're applying to something that you are, again, you go back to the term to describe it, imagining. Well, no, it's something you're experiencing, right? So perhaps rather than make up a term to explain something we don't understand, we should do a little bit more research in order to understand the experience rather than make up a term, right? Because, again, in my estimation, imagination is just a made-up term to explain experiences that individuals have that other individuals may not share. Doesn't make you crazy, doesn't necessarily mean that you're just imagining something that is not real. What is real? What is reality, right? That is something that is up to individual perception. Remember, you're manifesting your own reality. Back to that theme, where you're either doing it consciously or you're doing it subconsciously, but you're always manifesting your own reality. So, a lot of different ways and forms of astral work. A lot of reasons that folks do astral work, and a lot of ways that can look, right? A lot of different forms of astral work and means through which astral work can be accomplished. All right, I'm going to snub it now once again, going a little bit over on a short video. But yeah, I definitely felt that was a very interesting subject, and maybe something we'll revisit, because there's certainly a lot more information that we can expound on with that particular video. So that was Astral Work. Once again, Big King Sadiq, worldwide movement, peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq, I'm out.